Die Hard is the action movie king, so it is now time to stop and put a versus episode out for Die Hard versus Die Hard with a Vengeance. So let's do this. But before I get into this, I just want to give a quick little thing and say a few little words. A few little things. One, I am very sorry about the lack of content lately. I have no excuses for my little how should I put this? Death of content where I've been putting it a lot less out. But thank you all still for sticking with me despite the fact that I have been neglecting to do it because I've been getting a bit busy. But don't worry, we're getting some content back here. Your guys expect a Castaway review soon. Expect a ranking for the Matrix series and much, much more. As well as the fact that I want to take a stop and give a shout out to the thing that I use for films, Letterboxd, and just let me know that if you guys love movies, then I would highly suggest checking out Letterboxd down below. And you guys can go follow me on there, so you get to know my thoughts on movies early. You get to see rankings early. It has a lot of really cool stuff. If you guys are big fans of movies, I highly recommend it. And if you guys are big fans of my channel, then I am going to point you in the direction of Patreon, where Patreon is this exclusive type of thing where essentially if you guys love my channel so much to the point to where you want to just prove that you're a diehard fan, you guys can send me money at certain tiers and you get several things back. There's tiers where essentially at a certain tier you get to choose a video that I do each month, and there's also where you vote on them. At a certain tier you get to choose a movie that I have to watch, buy, and review. Please don't do some really bad movies for me, guys. I need to use my time wisely. But I can tell you I haven't been using my time wisely for some movies. But I would highly suggest checking out Patreon. The links to both Letterboxd and Patreon for my stuff will be in the description below, as well as the information for Die Hard and Die Hard with a Vengeance. And with all that said, let's get started. And so, first off, in no particular order, we're doing the 3 rounds that we have always done. First off, we have Die Hard versus Die Hard with a Vengeance with Rotten Tomatoes. And this one actually could get a bit, how should I say this one? It's surprising because, of course, we have Die Hard at number 1, which Die Hard, as we know, does have a very fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes with a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. And surprisingly enough, then you have Die Hard with a Vengeance that only has a 59%, which is wow. 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. So round number 1 goes to Die Hard, obviously, but let's just stop and think about this. Something that everyone loves, Die Hard with a Vengeance. And the fact of the matter is, it is the second lowest rated of all the Die Hard films. Second off, we're going to see what did you guys think of which ones. So I'm actually was lazy and didn't do this on here. So you guys are going to hear me fidgeting around a little bit trying to get to the poll. But I put out a poll yesterday. You guys will be seeing this. Well, at least you should be. If not, I'm going to kill myself. I'm just joking, but, okay. I put up a poll yesterday where I put up which Die Hard film is superior, and 715, holy cow, people, oh yeah, of course I have more votes than subscribers. Thanks a lot, guys, but anyway, I put up a poll, and 715 people voted, and there was an 87% incline for the original Die Hard. But Die Hard with a Vengeance got itself 13%, which, if you actually look, there are several people that would actually say that the third Die Hard with a Vengeance is better, which, for me personally, I would disagree. We'll get into that, but for me, I'm going to go, but since this round is going to Die Hard, so another point goes to Die Hard. Now, let's go into the third round, which is my personal opinion, and now I'm going to talk about both of these films for a short little bit. Die Hard is what I would call the greatest action movie of all time, and for me personally, my favorite movie of all time. Die Hard is just a film that, for me, it kind of comforts me. It's like a comfort movie for me, which people are going to say, you are such a horrible person if you get comfort out of seeing people being killed. I kind of deserve that, but, it's just, I love Die Hard so much, so, I mean, there's elements that I can say like, okay, maybe I shouldn't like this. Like, I mean, of course, there's some things like, I mean, of course, like Takaki getting the head bullet thing. That's like, wow, Hans is not joking around. But of course, you get the greatest movie villain of all time in Hans Gruber. He's what you would call a villain that. Of course, he is terrifying, but at the same time, he's almost fun and likable in a certain way where he has like this velvet in his voice almost that makes him just seem so likable, yet so scary at the same time where you are terrified with what this guy could do, but you're at the same time you're kind of like, your plan makes sense. Like when that scene where he's like, if you can't still see 600 million, 600 if you still 600 million, they will find you unless they think you're already dead.
Well, when you steal $600, you can just disappear. When you steal 600 million, they will find you unless they think you're already dead.
And it's just like that plan is just so genius. It's like, can I have a cut, please? I'm done. I mean, he's just so smart and clever, as well as the fact that everything in the original just pays off so well. Whether you're talking about like the opening monologue there where we have John McClane on the plane with that guy and saying like, if you take off your shoes and just rub them on the carpet, then it makes you relax, which explains why John McClane is barefoot the rest of the film, which makes sense because they're on a plane. That's a conversation you very much would have on a plane. Whether you're talking about things like Powell saying that he accidentally shot a kid, so he doesn't want to draw his gun on anyone anymore, and it's just, they pay that off in the ending as well. And I'm going to try not to ramble here because I need to give With a Vengeance some time, but I love Die Hard, so just I'll spoil this. Point number 3 does go to Die Hard, but we're going to talk about With a Vengeance. With a Vengeance is a great, and is, in my opinion, of all the Die Hard films, the worthy successor to the original. It's actually really funny, kind of a running joke that John McClane is debatably probably the most famous New York City cop in a movie, and in only one of the 5 action movies that he has is he actually in New York. It's really funny if you stop to think about it, so that is really good. But so of course you get Samuel L. Jackson in here being Samuel L. Jackson. Luckily it's not PG-13. Thanks, Liv, for your Die Hard. I'm sorry. But except for the unrated cut. The unrated cut's decent. I mean, so is the PG-13 cut. But don't neuter Die Hard. But anyway, it's good to see a R-rated film with Samuel L. Jackson because he can go a bit crazy. He can drop some F-bombs. He can be the Samuel L. Jackson that, in my opinion, is probably my favorite version of him. So, I mean, I love most things about this film. The thing why I'm always like, no, Die Hard's the clear number 1 is because I do feel like in the final frames, the final little bit, it does kind of not really go off the rails. It does feel like it's kind of tacked on, which I believe was a reshoot. There's 2 versions of the ending. One is the one that you get in the theatrical cut where John McClane gets out of the helicopter to try and kill Simon Gruber because Simon Gruber's in the helicopter. Simon has a clear shot at him he could take, and then he just stops. Yeah, just gonna look at him, give him some time, get to look at aim, and then John McClane's like, well, this moron's not looking, and then just immediately shoots a lamp poster. No, he shoots something that then lights the wings of the plane on fire and makes the helicopter blow up, and it's like, are you what that's kind of lazy writing considering how sharp the rest of the film is. So that is what you call a nitpick. But it's a nitpick. So I have to hold it against that just to push my favorite movie of all time higher. But I will still say it's a great film. And then there's this other ending where it picks up, I believe it's probably months later, or probably just a few weeks later, where you get John McClane kind of, I think it looks, by the way, it looked to me, where it's kind of he's kind of like in a bar, and he approaches Simon with a rocket launcher, and he takes away the ability to know which end is the rocket launcher. He cuts off the other end, so it's you have to shoot pull the trigger, and if you get this riddle wrong, and it's intentionally a rigged game, so it feels, in my opinion, it kind of made it, it's bold because it kind of makes John not John Opinion, John McClane. I'm already losing my mind. I'm sorry, guys. I assumed that I was going to be smart at this. It makes John McClane, in a way, it kind of paints him as a killer where he does take an unarmed man and intentionally, like, rig a game to where he is going to lose undoubtedly, which, I mean, Simon Gruber does kill eventually a lot of people in this, so in a way, it's not rigged, but, okay, technically, it's still rigged. In a way, it's justified, but at the same time, it just kind of bothers me why they do that. If you guys want to check it out, I'll try and put the link to that video in the description so you can see the other ending of Die Hard with a Vengeance. It was cut out, although if you do have the iTunes extras of Die Hard with a Vengeance, you can easily just watch it. It's in there. But, so round number 3 does go to Die Hard. So, as I already said, but I still love Die Hard with a Vengeance. Die Hard with a Vengeance, I gave a 5 out of 5. I love With a Vengeance. Like, I know some people aren't as big a fan of it. It's like, there's moments where I did really like it at first. I was still like, yeah, number one's the clear number one. So, I have warmed up to this franchise as a whole at first because I did love the original. It was my favorite movie when I first saw it. Then you had 2, which I did really like. I wasn't like, this is like the greatest movie of all time like I was with the original, and I certainly am much kinder to it than I was when I first saw it. With the Vengeance, I did really like. That was my second favorite, and I was laughing most of the film because there's some really good jokes in here. And then you have Live Free or Die Hard, which I really was not a very big fan of at first. I then checked it out with an open mind, saying I usually give films a second chance. I gave it a second chance, loved it. I gave it a third chance, loved it. I mean, not a third chance, gave it a third watch and loved it again. So if you are on the fences on Live Free or Die Hard, watch it again with an open mind and give the unrated cut a shot. It has several F-bombs and some violence. Definitely what a Die Hard film should be, but and then the 5th film, I hated off the bat. I barely managed to get through the 5th one. Funny story, I actually did a ranking of the Die Hard films, and the 5th film was so bad, I already had the 5th one in last place, and I kind of had not finished it yet. That one's already been deleted, but I'm just going to say the 5th film was horrible. I have finished it. Sadly, I have seen it twice, and probably I'm going to have to see it again. But that's a story for another time. Or a whining time for another time. But anyway, love the original Die Hard. Love With a Vengeance. And I also want to give a shout out to Simon Gruber in Die Hard with a Vengeance as a great villain. He is my second favorite, and another one where he's a lot like his brother in the first Die Hard, where he's clever and he's also German. So it's like Jeremy Irons, who plays Simon Gruber, he also has like this really iconic voice. He plays Scar. He's played of course he plays Simon Gruber. He actually just played a character in The Beekeeper. I was not a fan of his character. He didn't feel like Jeremy Irons. You can tell I don't think was really having a good time with that one. But anyway, I love both of these films, but sadly, Die Hard with a Vengeance does lose with 0 points, and Die Hard, of course, wins with 3 points. But I do still love both of these films. I just want to say that. I'm not going to shut up about that because I just love both of these films. So let me know what would you guys think, because you kind of you don't have any opinion over the poll because technically, actually no, you don't have an opinion over Rotten Tomatoes. Let me know, what were you a part of the poll with? Who did you vote for, Die Hard or Die Hard with a Vengeance? And also let me know, what is your opinion? Die Hard or Die Hard with a Vengeance? Which one do you prefer? There's some people in the With a Vengeance crowd. I am open for this, and I would love to see which one you prefer. But overall, I love both of these films. But for me, Die Hard has to be the clear number one, simply because I've just watched it so many times. Like, I've watched it several times. Like, definitely, like, I already watched it like 2 times. It was not in preparation for this because I just decided off the bat, because I watched Die Hard, then Die Hard with a Vengeance, then Die Hard again, because I was just like, yeah, this film's legit awesome. So it was just a really good day for Die Hard. Yeah, the really good day for Die Hard. The original Die Hard. Not that thing that we got in the 2010s. Ugh! Man, I'm so angry. Man. Whoever directed that should go to hell. Ugh! I'm joking. No one should for that, but I still hate that film. But anyway, love both of these films. So What did you guys think of both of these films? And be sure to check out Patreon and Letterboxd. I thank you very much for your consideration on both. Thank you all so much for watching, and then please watch my Castaway review when it comes out. And thank you. Have a good one.